Frequency Podcast Network. Stories that matter, podcasts that resonate.
The groundhog prediction is in, and the Grammys have been awarded. Hi, I'm Virjesh Dave. This is Big Headlines, everything you need to know to be in the know in just 5 minutes. Canada's famous foretelling rodents are predicting an early spring this Groundhog Day. Ontario's Wyerton Willie making his prediction.
We're proud to proclaim no shadow he spotted, no sunshine he claimed. So once again, the crier's bell did ring. Yes, Willie predicts, now hear this, it's an early spring!
In Nova Scotia, Shubenacadie Sam was forced to take the day off due to severe winter weather. Instead, officials say he would not see his shadow, calling for an early spring. Quebec's Fred Lamarmont reportedly did not see a shadow, which is good news for people tired of the wintry weather. The legend says there will be 6 more weeks of winter if a groundhog does see their shadow, and an early spring if they don't. In the U.S., Pennsylvania's Puxatawny Phil called for 6 more weeks of winter as well. A politically charged show with multiple jaw-dropping performances, historic moments, and emotional speeches. The 68th annual Grammy Awards had it all, and the spotlight is all over Bad Bunny, about to take the Super Bowl halftime show stage. He had the first ever Spanish-language album to win Album of the Year, and in his speech took aim at the Trump immigration crackdown.
Before I say thanks to God, I'm going to say eyes out.
Many celebrities were wearing Ice Out pins. 5 trophies went to Kendrick Lamar, including Record of the Year. He's now the most awarded hip-hop artist in Grammy's history with 27. And there was this stunning performance from Justin Bieber.
In the city, remember you used to drive it, you call. I pick up whenever you call.
The Canadian singer returning to the Grammys stage for the first time in years, performing in just his boxers and socks. Best Pop Vocal Album went to Lady Gaga. Also making big headlines, thousands have gathered in Toronto to call for an end to the Islamic regime in Iran. Protesters took to Sankofa Square Sunday afternoon for a rally in support of the Iranian people amid a violent government crackdown on protests in that country.
People with empty hand, they cannot do it on their own, and we need international support. We need someone to come and just end to this massacre.
Some protesters are also calling for intervention from Western leaders. Protests in Iran erupted on December 28th in response to an economic crisis. Iran's government says more than 3,000 people have been killed since protests began, but human rights groups estimate the death toll could be significantly higher, with some placing it as high as 36,500. The federal government's plan to increase the GST credit and offer a one-time payment to Canadians will cost Ottawa an estimated $12.4 billion over 5 years. The Office of the Parliamentary Budget Officer released the estimate this morning. Prime Minister Mark Carney promised last week to help lower-income consumers deal with the high cost of groceries, including a 25% hike to the GST credit over the next 5 years. More than 12 million Canadians are expected to be eligible for the new benefit. At Florida's Kennedy Space Center, preparations are underway for the launch of Artemis II. The first time in decades, astronauts are expected to head to the moon. A dress rehearsal is set to go today. NASA administrators say the stakes are high.
I would say this is the most important human spaceflight mission for NASA in more than a half century.
The Artemis II crew, which includes 1 Canadian astronaut, is in quarantine ahead of the launch. Officials say it could come as soon as Sunday after it was reportedly postponed due to poor weather conditions. If you haven't listened yet, today on the Big Story podcast, how is Canada being impacted by these ice raids? Host Richard Southern speaks to Patrick Lennox, a national security expert.
Could this spill over the border that Minnesota shares with Canada in any way, do you think, Patrick?
Well, it's possible. I think it is possible. is something that at least we should be alive to. One of the things that I looked at when I was kind of researching this question of whether or not, Canada has given any thought to this was a document that was produced by the government of Canada in 2004, where they laid out, a variety of different future scenarios and geopolitical events that could transpire. One of which was a civil war in the United States. And the government at the time, 2024, saw this as being, very unlikely, although very high impact if it did unfold. And so, my sense, after having been in the government of Canada for 15 years, is that, we don't have the resources, we don't have the capabilities to really plan and prepare for unlikely events.
You can listen to the full episode wherever you get your podcasts. Well, now you're in the know. Thank you for listening to Big Headlines. Make sure you follow, share, and review Big Headlines. Enrica Amaturo is our lead producer. I'm Burjesh Dave. Have an amazing day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.